Hello, my name is Cal,
And I'm Crystal.
and in this quick start lesson we're going to teach a fairly simple move called the crank. And one neat thing about the crank is, even though it's a move that's done in other dances, like I know progressive and maybe waltz and a number of other dances, it hasn't been done a lot with the rhythm two-step or the Arizona two-step. It's a fairly simple move, and I just started doing it a year or two ago, and I actually get quite a few people make comments that either they've never seen anybody do it or they really like it, yet it's just simply a variation of ladies outside turn. Let's go ahead and start by showing the crank. You're going to want to do this from the cross hand position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, crank, 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 and then stop. That's 3 turns that we're doing there. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as you want, as long as you know that the lady's comfortable and wants to be turning that much. Normally, I just had her do 3 outside turns. Normally, I would try to have her do at least 1 turn the other direction. A couple things we want to touch on first about the crank. First of all, when I teach the ladies outside turn in these quick start lessons, I've only really talked about having the ladies do an outside turn with the gentleman leading with his left hand, because I almost never lead the lady with my right hand to do a lady's outside turn. There's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't add anything. I'm rarely in that position, so I don't hardly ever do it. So the point is, for a lady's regular outside turn, the way I've taught it, but not the only way you need to do it, is typically, gentlemen, your left hand, her right. This is a variation, this crank is basically a variation of the ladies' double or triple outside turn. The difference is the arms. Otherwise, the lady's just doing 3 turns, 2 or 3 however many.
And the way the hands are held.
And the way the hands are held, because you need to make sure that they're able to pivot. So, we're going to signal her, instead of bringing her arm up here to her shoulder, we're going to signal down here on the 5-6, and then you're going to take her into the turns. And gentlemen, when you're doing it, I recommend going up, down, up, down. So it's going to be up, down, up, down. Another way to illustrate that is, this crank is going to look a little bit more impressive if her arm is straight rather than bent. So instead of thinking of it more of a round, I like to go up, down. I'm still making a circle, but I kind of, in a way, almost with the beat of the music. It's beat of the music, up and down. First, we're going to show, Crystal's going to do 3, I'm going to crank her 3 times, but her arm's going to be bent. And then we're going to do it straight. We'll show you the difference. What are you laughing at the fact that I said I'm going to crank her? I'm going to crank her. Ready, and bent arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, end up like this. Now we're going to do it the way that I think it's important to do it if you want it to look like much. And that's with the straight arm. So ladies, for you, you can help out by, when you're doing this move, to have your arm a little bit straighter. Comfortable, but as straight as you're comfortable with. Even real straight if you're comfortable. It doesn't have to be rigid, but way more straight than this. So let's do that, Crystal, to show the difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, end up here like this. Now, just like we just showed that it tends to look a little bit better if the lady's arm is straight, it also tends to look better if you're able to do more than just 1 crank. So now we're going to go ahead and do it the way we like to do it with the straight arm. We're just going to do 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, turn like that. That is not going to look a whole lot different than just a lady's outside turn, but it's the fact that you're doing 2 or 3 of them, it looks a little bit more dramatic. It's going to stand out more like a different move. So just in review, I would encourage you to try to have ladies' arm straight, going all the way around like large circles rather than ladies' arm bent and small, and consider at least doing 2 of them or 3, as long as you know that the lady wants to be turning and is comfortable turning. Is there anything else you can think of?
Just the pivot.
Okay, yeah, good point. The pivot. The way you're holding your hand, gentlemen, this is kind of important. When you're doing this turn, it's going to help. I typically have like 2 fingers, maybe because sometimes you can do 1 finger, but sometimes they grab it and it hurts. If you do 2, you've got a little bit more there to force your hand to spin. But typically what I do is I have my 2 fingers in here, and she's just going to typically naturally grab those and hold on because you're just spinning her. So she's holding on, and she needs to make sure that she's allowing her hand to turn around my 2 fingers. Yeah, exactly, just like that. Okay, well thanks again, Crystal, for helping.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for watching. We sure appreciate your watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for
Bye.
now.